as we all know, marketing is very closely linked to the customer, and most effective marketers are those who are very customer centric. So, independence in marketing should be put in the backdrop of the customer. So, to illustrate this, let's just rewind a little bit to the pre digital era. So, that's the time when there was no Google, there was no YouTube, and it's not long back, mind you. Even as late as 2005, when marketing was at its traditional best, this still existed. So, if you look at that time, marketing was kind of a one-way street, right? Marketers and all of us have been part of it. Marketers, our job was to dress up the brand to make it look its prettiest, right? The most ideal image, and it was very advertising-led, one-way communication, almost like a lipstick on a pig approach. Customers, on the other hand, they were at the receiving end of it. They didn't have too many channels to talk back, so most people would go with the ideal image, and this has gone on for a very long time. Uh, so, cut to now, in the present, it's an extremely different scenario, right? Customers are extremely empowered. David Ogilvy famously said, "Customer is not a moron. She could be your wife, your spouse." So, customers have access to a lot of information at their fingertips. You could do your own research. You could have dialogues back with the brand and have the whole world watch you while you're at it. So this has changed the whole playing field altogether. So going back to the topic of independence in marketers, I think this is where it comes in at its best. Independence to me is the power of the marketer to be completely honest and truthful about what the brand stands for and be real when they present it to the customer. Independence would mean that the brand listens to the customer and accepts any mistakes, any chinks in the armor, right? So be truthful about it. And third is a great opportunity. Independence also means the opportunity to iterate, make changes to your offering, and go back to the customer with what he or she has been telling you. So this actually has opened up the entire marketing into a different dimension of being a complete two-way street, being truthful, and creating a genuine connect with customer. So this basically means that you could actually sell a lot more if you are being honest and create that connect. So one quick example from our industry is, Snapdragon, as you know, is a brand that powers several Android devices around the world. It packs in a ton of technological features which are extremely advanced. So it's easy for me as a marketer to go and talk about 15 trillion operations per second and confuse the customer. When if I have to be truthful and create a genuine connect, when somebody whips out a smartphone from their pocket, they they do it for a few reasons. You want to take a picture, um, you want to listen to music, you want to watch a video, and so on. So what we are doing in our marketing, for instance, is to speak that language. Our latest campaign, Unleash Your Dreams, which is live on Instagram, does exactly that. We are celebrating the talents of our consumers in all these fields, be it music or be it photography and so on. And we've enlisted some of the best in the industry, be it Shankar Ehsan Loy for music, or Atul Kasbekar for photography, or Imtiaz Ali for movie making, to mentor our consumers in this area. So I moved away from what could be a very technical jargon space to what actually people do with their devices. The other area that I'm going to touch upon is how do you create independent marketers? See, as a leader, I think you lead by example. Going back to the whole thing about how to be truthful. So if you're truthful to yourself and to your team, there's a high chance that you'll be truthful to your consumer. So it's important as a leader to create a culture of truthfulness. That your team should be able to call a spade a spade. They should be able to express their mind without any inhibitions. So I think that culture, if we can create, I think you're creating independent marketers. The second thing I would touch upon is failure. See, failure is overrated. People think failure is the end of the world, but honestly, failure has so many positives to it that, again, as a leader, you should allow your team or your marketers to fail. In fact, I would go to the extent of saying that you create a process around it. You allocate a small part of your budget to experiment, and you could go either way and not worry about it. So that's really how you create independence in thinking. And talking about thinking, that's my last point, in that a lot of people focus on doing and less on thinking. That again is very underrated. Thinking is very underrated. I think we should allocate a huge proportion of time within the team to think and not do, at that time. Strengths of running an independent marketing function is that your ROI is going to be very strong in marketing, right? So you're going to get more bang for the buck because you're creating the genuine connect with customers, as I said earlier. Uh, weakness is a tough one. I would say you need to walk the talk. So while you could say that your product is exactly this, everybody in the organization needs to be aligned. So be it the product manager, be it the service manager, they need to all be aligned with what the marketer is saying. Otherwise, the saying and doing should not be completely uh, misaligned. Opportunity is that you have an opportunity to genuinely differentiate. So once people know that you're telling the truth as a brand, I think they would stick to you, they'll flock to you. So a genuine differentiation is possible. Threat is that you would have to expose some chinks in your armor, so which is fine. I mean, there's no brand that's perfect, right? Everybody tries to be there, but there is a journey. So you could expose some chinks in the armor in the short term, but in the long term, you would be an extremely differentiated, successful brand who could sell a lot more.